everything, drop it. Come on. Don't take no video. Get going away. No.
Flight 1 minute back. I got no traffic here, so just let me know what you'd like to do. We just had a crash on runway 23 here.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
2025 has been a rough year for aviation, and it's only just got worse as we have had another plane crash in Toronto, this time with a plane flipping literally upside down and passengers being forced to leave the flight. So yesterday at around 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Delta Airlines flight 4819 crashed and flipped upside down while trying to land in Toronto Pearson International Airport in Canada after taking off from the US in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This came to light after some horrifying scenes started to surface around Twitter especially, where you can literally see people climbing out of an upside down Delta Airlines flight.
We're in Toronto. We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down. Fire department's on site. Upside down. Everybody, most people appear to be okay. We're all getting off. Some smoke going on.
The Delta Airlines CRJ-900 jet, operated to Endeavour Air, has crashed and overturned with numerous passengers on board, though all 80 passengers were safely evacuated from the plane, and it's worth noting that 76 of those 80 were passengers and 4 were crew. Though they all managed to evacuate the plane, it has been reported that at least 18 people were injured, and an infant was apparently reported to be in a critical condition. Like I said, the flight was going from Minneapolis to Toronto, and there's been obviously more horrifying footage that circulated off the back of this, of people recording the moments when they were trying to leave the cabin.
Everything, drop it. Come on. Don't take no video. Get going away. No.
Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Oh my fucking god. Yo, I was just on this fucking plane. Oh my god. Yo, I was just on this fucking plane. Holy fuck.
But what I think is even more horrifying than this is the early footage that we saw from people outside of the airport before we actually witnessed the plane crash itself and what they could see, which was just a huge black smoke. Now, the FAA have of course stated that they will be launching an investigation into this, but early signs and people are starting to already point fingers at Donald Trump after rising tensions between the US and Canada. And the reason for the fingers being pointed at Donald Trump is because of FAA cutbacks, and with them already being short-staffed, this being a huge issue.
I did want to, underscore, to pick up on the conversation you were just having, though, in terms of the recent string of aviation incidents, Tom. This is going to yet again raise the concern about FAA staffing, air traffic control staffing. Now, this is a Canadian air traffic control tower, and this is under Canadian authority once it crosses the border. And yet, as you know, there has been this talk about maybe staff cuts at the FAA as a part of President Trump's effort to trim down the federal workforce. And yet, as you also know, the FAA has been complaining for years that they are understaffed in critical job positions, especially air traffic control. I was having a conversation with somebody today about whether air traffic control in America is being affected by the staff cuts. So far, not to their knowledge, and yet other positions related to maintaining critical equipment appear to have been cut. So this is going to feed into all of these recent incidents, and the safety of the total air traffic system is going to be very much a part of the conversation as we go forward, at least on this side of the country, of the border, I should say.
But as the day has gone on today, as the time of me recording, more information has been released, and earlier this morning I managed to find a video clip of the horrifying moments when air traffic control were actually communicating with the plane and the moments that the plane actually crashed. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it is harrowing.
Yeah, Terry, you can hear the pilots in this audio talk about this, and they go back and forth. And there's also a medevac helicopter in the area. They were on the approach, then they were told to hold off, but then they said, hey, look, we're a medevac helicopter. We can assist with this. I think we have that audio, if so let's listen.
Flight 1 medevac, I got no traffic here, so just let me know what you'd like to do. We just had a crash on runway 23 here. Flight 1 medevac, just so you are, there's people outside walking around the aircraft there.
Yeah, we've got it. The aircraft there's upside down and burning.
And that is the conversation between the medevac helicopter and the tower. As soon as they heard about this incident, they went over to that area, went overhead, and they see these people out and about. And that is the good news, that all 80 passengers we now know made it out of this aircraft safely.
Yeah, just a remarkable, remarkable result. And I want to go back to John Nance, our longtime ABC News aviation expert, longtime pilot, as author, all kinds of things. John, let me just ask you about wind and what those pilots were going through, possibly. Obviously, we don't know the facts here. We do know that gusts up to 40 miles an hour at the ground level. Talk about flying in wind like that and coming in for a landing.
Well, when you're having to do with a crosswind like this, which was probably about a 30-degree crosswind, and very gusty, I'm sure. This is not a result of a thunderstorm. There's no thunderstorm activity that I know of that was in the area, and that's what would create the downdrafts that are most dangerous, the microbursts. But what a pilot has to deal with here is aligning the airplane not with the runway, but about 30 degrees off in this case, where they're keeping the airplane going down the runway, but it's pointed a little differently. And with a lot of turbulence, that means a lot of manipulations of the controls, and at the last second you can have a gust that balloons you in the air, or a bit of a fall off of the air velocity. So it's a constant thing. I mean, it's second nature to pilots to do this, but it can get out of hand. And whatever happened here, and by the way, the idea of a strut collapsing is not outlandish. That is a possibility, but whatever happened was simply beyond the capability of the pilots to aerodynamically control the airplane.
But even more horrifying than this is the actual footage that has now been released of the plane crashing on landing. Now, people are wondering how on earth it ended up flipping over. When you watch the footage, you can see the wing sear off, the other wing still got lift under it, and the landing gear from the right wing obviously isn't there anymore, so it is just going to completely 180 flip over itself, and it is the most horrifying crash footage I've seen in a very, very long time. Now, there's a lot of questions being asked towards the aviation community at the moment, like why are there so many crashes, as it is now being reported that in 2025, from January 1st up until this point, there was actually more recorded crashes, like high-profile crashes, than the entirety of 2024 already, and we're only about 2 to 3 weeks into February. So there's obviously huge concerns surrounding flying. A lot of people stating that they don't trust flying anymore. They don't feel safe stepping onto an airplane after everything that they've seen in recent months, especially with the Blackbird and the plane collision earlier this year. We've also got the issues in Philadelphia. We've also now got this Delta Airlines crash. I mean, looking at the footage, it is absolutely a miracle that this was, you know, the least damage done. You know, there was no lives taken, thank goodness, but it could have easily gone a very, very different direction had this been any other time. Unfortunately, of course, there was an infant that was in or is in critical condition at the time of recording. At the time of recording as well, we don't know the ins and outs of what actually caused this crash to happen, as the investigation is still ongoing. But as I get the details, I'll be sure to release them out to you guys. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this whole thing down in the comments below. While you're down there, jump to get the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you are new, and until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.